We are here for the River States Conference Softball Media Days, the Midway University Softball Media Day. Here with me, I have Coach Crystal Camuse. She is in the middle. Coach, you can wave to the camera. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And then on the far left, we have Mary Andres, a super senior from Louisville, Kentucky. Mary, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. And then on the far right, we have Miss Madison Ludwig, another super senior from Louisville, Kentucky as well. Madison, you doing good?
Yeah, I'm great.
Good. All right. So, Coach, you were here as an assistant coach for 3 seasons, back in 2016, 17, and so on and so forth. 2 years after that, but you came back to be the head coach. What attracted you to become the head coach of the program, and what's it been like taking over the program?
It's definitely been interesting. Just my first head coaching job has been. It's been a great experience for sure. It attracted me because I'm kind of local. I'm originally from Frankfort, so it was close to home, close to the family. They can all come and watch games, and so we've definitely, been excited about that. And they wear the blue, so yeah.
Well, good. Mary, were you? Do you remember Crystal from your first time around?
Yes.
What was that like, having a familiar face come back to be the head coach of the program?
I loved it. She was a big part of the things that I learned freshman year because I played every single position on the field, and she forced me to stick with catching and to work on it, and she's created me, pretty much, so. And
Wig, as your head coach, being an all-conference pitcher at St. Catherine during her playing days, what have you been able to learn from her? What toolage has she been able to give you, being a pitcher, being the pitcher that you are today?
It's great having a coach that's actually played the game before and played the position that I play. So anytime I have a question, I'll just go up to her and she can explain it, usually to her best ability, to where we can all understand.
Does that give you a level of much more comfortable being in the circle, knowing that?
For sure.
Knowing that
she's been in those situations before, and she knows what it's like.
Yeah, well, good. So Coach, last season you guys got off to a really terrific start. Didn't quite end the way you had hoped, unfortunately. But what's it going to take to keep that sluggish ending from happening to this year's squad and going even further and getting to further in the conference tournament?
Well, it starts with our schedule. I think we have a tough schedule this year, so I feel like that's going to prepare us a little bit more for those moments. But also in practice and in preseason, we've definitely been putting them in those situations and hopefully being able to handle those nerves and handle those moments as a big situation. Then we can, succeed in those spots.
Yeah, and Mary, what are your thoughts on ending the season on a better note this season?
Well, for me personally, it was my injury and working back from that. But then just as a team, I think just working together and realizing that we all can show up big in those moments. Mm-hmm. And I think last year we had a lot of just upperclassmen that thought they could do that, but then maybe some of the younger ones didn't. So I think this year we have the talent, and I think as long as everybody shows up and does what they're supposed to do, we'll be fine.
Wade?
We've also been working on our mental game a lot this off season, figuring out what works for us during those pressure situations and how we can work through them.
Yeah, and speaking of the two players, neither one of you were 100% healthy, and really no one is coming towards the end of the season like you guys were. Mary, what's that rehab process been like, getting your shoulder rehabilitated and getting yourself ready to go for this season?
It was definitely tough. Since I had the surgery over the summer, it was a lot better because I know it would have been terrible for me to do that while we were in season, and watching everybody, I would have hated every second of it. But I actually came back a lot faster than I expected, so I'm happy with that, and just continuing to rehab throughout the entire season to get me through the season is the focus.
Yeah. Wig, I think you had a hamstring injury? Was it? No, wasn't
knee
that?
Injury.
Knee injury. Knee injury. What's that rehab process been like to make sure that you're 100% healthy, ready to go for this season?
I've been doing a lot of strength training, just trying to build those muscles around the knee so that I'm able to get back to 100% for pitching. as it's my landing leg, so I use it a lot.
Yeah, and I'm sure that is very important. I wouldn't know, obviously. So, Coach, you guys have been practicing now you went through an entire fall with this team, and now you've been back for a couple weeks here this spring. How's the team looking thus far?
We are definitely looking better. The fall was a little rough for us, but we've come in this semester very focused, and they're actually implementing some of the things that we're working on, especially like the mental game that she was talking about. So I mean they look good. They look really good coming into the season, and hopefully we got about 3 weeks until we start. So
Yeah, well, good. Mary?
I think the fall practice-wise was a little tough for us, but once we started playing and we had those play dates, I mean, we hung around with a D1 Bellarmine in the fall, and that wasn't even our entire team. We were just putting people in and out. We were missing Katie Rhodes, our shortstop. Like, I think we will be good. We've started to come back in, even though the weather has been kind of crappy for us the past couple weeks, but every time we get out on the field, we're intentional, and we're getting better.
Yeah, Mary? Or, excuse me, Wig?
We've all been lifting really a lot this off season. I think everybody's determined to come back and finish stronger than we did last year, and everybody's just doing really great so far.
Yeah, and Coach, you return pitcher of the year. She's on your left right there. So we're very happy to have her back, and you return one of your another first team all conference member in Mary. Then you also return Kennedy Thompson. I know that's going to be important having her back. You also return some other key pieces as well. Mary mentioned Katie Rhodes on the infield, Lauren Lingenfelter over at first, McKenna Talcott probably playing outfield now. So
We'll see.
what's it? How important is it to have those key pieces back?
I think it's very important, honestly, especially leadership-wise. They've already taken over that role, kind of. So they're the ones to calm everybody down, keep them on their, keep them just relaxed and in those moments. Like they said before, they've been in those big moments. So I think definitely they're helping the younger kids grow. So we're going to have some young girls on the field this year, especially maybe not age-wise, but experience-wise. So I think just having that calm presence on the field and just in the dugout every moment is definitely going to be a huge help, definitely for us.
Good. Mary, what's obviously you and Wig are both first team all conference members. How important is it for both of you to be on the same page? As one of the top battering, in my opinion, one of the top battering Rams or whatever, however you want to say that, in the conference.
Well, we've been together doing this for about 10 years now, so we're pretty much on the same page all the time. And I mean, you saw it last season. You saw her ERA and what our stats were together when we were at Battery. It's crazy to think that we could be on the same page all the time, but it's literally all the time.
Yeah.
Like, we're just the same person.
Yeah. And Wig, what's it like having Mary come back to be with you and have that super senior year with her?
Oh, it's great having her back. Like she said, we've been together for 10 years. We practically have the same brain when it comes to pitch calling and different situations. Yeah, it's really great having her back.
Yeah. Well, good. Coach, we'll kind of wrap up with this one final question. What are your and I want to get the players' thoughts on this as well. What are your kind of expectations for the upcoming season? I know the expectations are always the same, I'm sure. But what's expectations for this group?
Very high. Very high. I always tell them that, my expectations are way up here. You might never meet them, but we're going to push as hard as we can to get there. So like I mentioned earlier, we have a pretty tough schedule, non-conference and conference. So hopefully they're able to take what we've learned, take what we've practiced, and kind of implement that in the games and just have fun, honestly. So I think we're going to have a good season as long as they show up and do the job.
Wig, what are your kind of thoughts and expectations on the upcoming season?
Oh, I'm excited for this season. Obviously, we always want to win our side of the division and the conference championship. And I think, like she said, having a tough schedule, we're going to be really able to compete. I think we have one of the best defenses in our whole conference. So hopefully we'll be able to go out there and show out.
Yeah, Mary, how important is it going to be able to have that schedule, that tough schedule, to prepare yourself for the conference tournament?
It's definitely important. It gets us ready, like they said, the tough battles as soon as you get out there. I mean, last year we started with Lindsey Wilson, and I think that was one of the best things that we could have done because it showed that like we had the fight, and I think it's going to be the same for this year. We are going to exceed expectations.
All right, you heard it here first from Mary Andress, Coach Camuse, and Madison Ludwig. Good luck this season, ladies.
Thank you.